It's Don here from the board. Thanks for coming along and checking out this video. Today I'm going to be having a look at one of the prize kits that will be on offer at the Sydney 2018 Keyboard Meetup. Now this prize kit comes courtesy of DailyClack, so thank you very much to DailyClack for actually sending this and supplying this. It's actually amazing how the generosity has been with all the people who've offered up things that we can use in our meetup for prizes and goodie bags and so on and so forth. Now this is a KBD75. It is a 75% keyboard kit, but I actually don't know which version it is. Now what I mean by that is there's actually been a number of different rounds of this particular keyboard kit from KBDFans, and I'm not 100% sure if there's a very specific way of determining which version or round it comes from. Not that it matters at all, since, you know, don't want to be a choosing beggar here. Donated prize, more than happy to take it. Check it out, and of course it'll be given away by raffle on the day. So let's switch over down to our desktop and have a look. Here it is in its very ordinary, unassuming box. Nothing's happening. It's a good solid box. Of course, we're going to get right into it. And what we see is foam. Take away the foam and we see a shiny plate. It's a pretty cool kit. I think the packaging is very well designed. It's a very snug fit in the components, as you can see, and it didn't really sound like it was rattling or bouncing when I had actually taken it out of its exterior packaging. It was funny because Fatty from DailyClack had told me about it, but I had completely forgot about it, and when it turned up, my wife said, "Did you buy another keyboard?" I was like, "No." And she showed me the package, and it had another name on it that I didn't recognize, so I had absolutely no idea what was going on. It wasn't until I sort of picked it up and I was thinking, what on earth is this? Then I remembered that Fatty had said that he would be getting it sent straight to me. So here it is. Now let's unpack it and see what we've got. We've obviously got the top section here. It's just a straight up, very simple anodized silver. It's got some screw holes on the back with a internal sort of lip edge. I guess that's for covering the plate. And we can see that the USB socket is going to be on this left hand side. So let's just carefully put that aside. We've got a separately wrapped what looks to be a plate. It's pretty light. It's probably stainless by the feel of it. It's cold enough that I can feel it through the plastic. Now I don't want to take the packaging open here because it's got tape on it, but the fact that I can feel its coldness, I'm going to say that it's stainless steel, not aluminium, because aluminium tends not to feel as cold in that context. We can see it's a universal plate, so it supports ISO as well, and it has a variety of options down here with its open cutout, which is pretty cool. Awesome. We've got our PCB. Now it's in bubble wrap, so it's relatively well protected. Now it looks like there's no protection keeping that sealed in, so let's pull it out and have a quick squeeze. Okay, so that's obviously the top surface because the USB port is on that side. There's really no markings at all describing what's going on. Pretty nondescript. If we flip it over, it's just as nondescript. Okay, so we've got RGBs along here and along here on the bottom. We've got our chip. We've got a reset switch happening here. All of the actual switch positions are labeled, so if I go up there you can see escape, F1, F2, F3 and so on and so forth. It has a USB-C connector on it, which I don't know if it's gonna focus or not, but you'll just have to trust me that it is indeed a USB-C connector there. I don't know what's going on here, but it looks like they've actually painted the PCB in production, so there's a bit of a paint mark over there just to cover up what might have been a scratch or an exposed trace. Hopefully that's not going to cause any issues, but you can see where it's going to the diode, so if you needed to bridge jump that, it wouldn't be terribly difficult anyway. I would expect that to be relatively easy to be able to bridge jump that. Rightio. So it's a fairly straightforward, fairly nondescript, pretty ordinary looking PCB, nothing fancy, and it is a Atmel Mega 32U4 chip, as we would expect as well. So I don't know if that's gonna convince my camera to. There we go, Mega 32U4. That's pretty cool. Right, let's get that back inside for now. And then we have this case bottom. It's a gorgeous cyan color in person. I don't know how well it's going to translate to the camera, but we can see there's a large number of screw holes here, obviously to go through the PCB for a case mount here, not a I think they call that tray mount, right? Not top mount. We've got a bit of a gap space here if there was actually dip switches, although I don't know if that actually correlates with the Pro Micro, not Pro Micro, the Atmel, the MCU, Pro Micro on the brains. But it's the same over here and here, so I'm not sure what's up with that. Perhaps it's just a light, sort of lightning weight reduction kind of thing. We've got this brown thing, and I think that's the clear acrylic strip. So I'm just going to lift that out. Oh, it's actually got a lot of weight to it. And yeah, so as I suspected, the brown is just the film covering the acrylic. It's a very thin, probably only the 1.5 mil. It's 2 mil. So it's a 2 mil acrylic strip, and we can see that there's so it covers up the screw holes on the corners here that hold it in place. But what they've also done is they've added a retaining hole here, and there's the pin that will just keep it in place as well, so this edge doesn't wobble and flap around. But it's actually got a lot of heft to it. So I'm just going to gently take that and put it over there, and let's just flip it over, and we can see it's pretty nondescript as well. It's very well machined, besides the foggy marks from my fingers. There's no scuffs or dents. It looks really well anodized. It's very even, very clean. So front edge, side edges, there's the rear, so it's got a little bit of an angle there happening. And then of course the underside. Now there is sort of spaces here for rubber feet or silicon feet or something, but it doesn't look like this kit comes with it. So you're definitely going to have to get additionals so that you're not going to be running this on a surface and scratching it and scuffing it up. But you know what? That's a relatively small price to pay for what looks to be an awesome kit. Now, I'm talking about heft because this really does contain heft. So I thought, well, I'm just going to check that there's nothing else happening in this box, because I don't think there is. Yep, there's nothing else happening in this box. So let's just put the box to the side for the moment. Let's get the scales. Let's just tear it to 0. There we go. And the base plate plus the acrylic piece is 800 grams. So when I told you that it has a lot of heft, I'm not kidding. It's 842. Now, let's just take the PCB out. Not that the bubble wrap would have added very much weight to it anyway. And let's just put it where it will actually go, roughly. Okay. So it's going to sit on the standoffs. That's where it's going to sit. Added 100 grams. I'm not going to take the plate out of the plastic, but it won't add very much at all to it. So we're now over 1 kilo. And then the final piece, which is the top of it, 1.201. So if we take away a couple of grams, we're still looking just under 1.2 kilos without switches, without stabilizers, without feet. So we're probably looking at about 3 pounds. Is that right? Yeah, about 3 pounds weight if you're talking about the Imperial, or it's going to be just over 1.2 kilos once you add your switches, your keycaps, your stabilizers, and so on and so forth. So it has an incredible amount of heft, and it feels pretty good in the hand. And I must say that pairing up of the teal cyan with the silver is really great, because if you hold that up and see that color combo there, it's very striking, because from the side on you get to see that color difference, but top down you get a very sort of classy silver look to it, which is not very distracting at all. So let's just get this baby back into its protective home and have some final thoughts about it. Okay, put that back there. Let's get our box. It's so heavy that I can't actually pick it up one hand open like I just tried to there. I really had to use my second hand for fear of actually spraining on my wrist or something. Okay, in goes the base. Carefully nudging our acrylic piece, PCB can go in the correct position. Going that way. Actually, I'll tuck that in. There we go. Our plate, and then our top piece. Snug as a bug. Look at that. It just fits flush against the top of that foam. So they did a really bang up job on getting that perfect fit and height. Whoever put this packaging together really knew their thing. We'll get that back on top, and there it goes, closed away and awaiting for its new owner, whoever it's going to be, at the Sydney meetup later this year in December. Now, I have on the other screen here just one of the KBD75 kits. You're looking at about $155 US for this, but it is meant to come with stabilizers, I believe. So the kit says you're going to get stabilizers, screws, rubber feet, acrylic mid-layer, aluminium plate. Okay, so it is aluminium, my bad, even though it feels like it could be steel. I guess the weight. I don't have a steel plate so of that size, but close enough. PCB and the aluminium case. So this must be a slightly basic version. It could be an earlier version which didn't come with the stabilizers, screws and rubber feet, because I don't think there's actually holes tapped in this for it. So I don't know exactly what the approximate price range would be for this. But that said, it's very close anyway. And if you're going to win it in a raffle, there's no reason to gripe whatsoever. It's a lovely board. It looks fantastic. It feels fantastic. It has a great weight about it. And I can't wait to see whoever wins it put it together and turn it into a really nice custom. So once again, thank you, Fatty from DailyClack, for supporting us here at the Sydney 2018 Keyboard Meetup. I really appreciate it. And yeah, if you're able to come up, I guess we'll see you for the meetup. And if not, we'll make sure we give you plenty of love as part of the meetup as well. So thank you for checking out this review of the KBD75 kit. And of course, if it's the first time you've ever seen any of our content and you like to see this kind of stuff, please hit like, please hit share, please subscribe and check out all of our back catalogue of videos. Plus, we have a podcast which we try to do weekly, and you can follow us on Instagram, check us out, talk to us via Facebook or Reddit as well. So, thanks for checking out the video, and, of course, as always, until next time, happy clacking.